Yep, this is real cold hard cash, guys. And I'm going to show you historically why owning a home in Las Vegas is one of the best things you can do to make a lot of money. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? This is Jerry Abbott, your local Las Vegas realtor, out here on another beautiful sunny day here right around the holiday time at the end of 2021. Before we dive into the video, guys, if you want to learn everything there is to know about the Las Vegas real estate market, this channel is for you. Definitely subscribe down below and give me a thumbs up like. That would really help the channel out. And remember, guys, I'm a local realtor here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. Just call, text, or email me anytime if you're thinking about relocating to Las Vegas, and I will help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the video. Okay, guys, so I know it was a little bit dramatic about that intro with the money, but I want to talk to you guys today about money and real estate in Las Vegas. Now that we're wrapping up the year 2021, I'm filming this video right at the end of the year, right at the holiday time, but I want to talk to you guys today about money. Now, I want to show you something. If you take a $100 bill like this, and you think $100 just this year alone has depreciated to about $93. So this $100 bill has lost $7 because we're at about a 7% inflation rate. But with real estate in Las Vegas has increased by 25%. So 25% means this $100 bill, if it was invested in real estate, would be $125. So you can see that by leaving your money sitting in the bank just in this year alone, you would lose 7% versus gaining 25% in the Las Vegas real estate market. So I want to expand on that in the next segment here. But now let's just zoom out, guys, because I want to show you the bigger picture. A lot of people are always focused on what's going on in the market right now, but I want you to see the bigger picture because that's the most important part about real estate, especially in Las Vegas, and how you can make a lot of money by potentially owning a home or an investment property here. So the first thing I want to show you is we're going to take a look at the stock Amazon. And then we're going to look at Bitcoin, which is the cryptocurrency everybody's been talking about. And then we're going to take a look at the average home price in 1971. So let's take a look at those examples right now. Okay, so let's take a look at the first example here, guys. Everyone knows Amazon. Now let's take a look at the Amazon stock price. Now, as you can see, back in the late 90s, no one heard of the company. No one knew it was going to take over the world. After about the 1999 time period, which is a good 20 years ago, it skyrocketed up. Then the 2000 crash came and everything started to plummet, including Amazon, and no one thought it was going to recover. And now it's over $3,000 a share. So basically, the moral of the story with the Amazon example is, when was there ever a time to sell Amazon? Never. Because if you held on to it long term, you made a tremendous amount of money. So Amazon is a perfect example long term that absolutely made a lot of people multimillionaires just by holding on to the stock, even though there was an ebb and flow between it going up and going down. So let's take a look at the second example here, Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people obviously have been talking about Bitcoin. It's been taking over the world. It's the cryptocurrency that everybody wants to buy. All the companies are now trying to buy into it. But if you looked at cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, even 5 or 6 years ago, it was only a few $100s per coin. Now, if you know anything about Bitcoin, right now it's hovering just underneath $50,000 per coin. Now, there's been a tremendous amount of upward movement, obviously, and a tremendous amount of crash movements. There's been up and down like a roller coaster, but in the last 5 years alone, had you held on to Bitcoin just in this 5-year window, you would have made a tremendous amount of money because the trajectory, regardless of that roller coaster ride, is always upward and onward for a lot of people. So that's another example, just like Amazon, that it's never really a good time to sell any of these because they're always on an upward trajectory. All right, so let's take a look at the last example, which of course is real estate. Let's rewind the clock all the way back to 1971. Take a look at that statistic on screen. The average home price in the United States in 1971 was about $25,000. Now we fast forward 50 years later, and now the average price point, particularly in Las Vegas, is just over $400,000. So the only reason I'm bringing up the Amazon example, the Bitcoin example, and now the real estate example is, if you left your money in the bank and you didn't do anything with it, all these years later, whether we go back 5 years or 50 years, your money would have just been eaten up by inflation. But if it had been in real estate real estate is notorious for making people millionaires. Now, not everyone becomes a millionaire, but because you put your money in real estate, it's always going to appreciate. Doesn't matter if it's the Amazon stock or it's something new like Bitcoin or something old like real estate. It always goes up and down, but in the end, all of these examples show an upward trajectory. And that's why you want to put your money into investments like real estate or even Bitcoin or an Amazon stock. But because this video is about real estate, Las Vegas real estate in particular is definitely always been on an upward trajectory, and it's going to stay that way, guys. Now, I know you guys might be thinking that's a pretty bold statement, but I want to show you one other thing. Take a look at this graphic. Just in the last 10 years alone, if you owned real estate back in about 2011, right here in Las Vegas, and you held on to it till 2021, in this 10-year window, you can see that the appreciation has been just over 200%, 223% to be exact. But just take a look at that kind of price appreciation with what would happen with your money in a Las Vegas real estate investment, whether it's a home, an investment property. That is serious money to be made over a period of time. That is just the way things go. Everything just keeps getting more expensive. And real estate, along with a high inflationary time, is going to keep moving in that upward trajectory. Another quick statistic for you guys is that people don't realize that the government owns over 81% of the land in the state of Nevada, which means the land is limited for people like home builders. So even though it's a wide open state and people think that a lot of homes could be built out here, so prices shouldn't be that outrageously high, that's not true because the government releases a limited amount of land. And when they release it, the home builders, as an example, they have to pay a premium for it. And when they build homes here, they then have to pass that off to the consumer. So land here is very expensive now. And so the builders are building on it. They're being charged a lot of money. They're passing it off to the homeowners. And that's what's causing prices to go up. That's a continuous thing that's been happening here for years and years and years. And it's going to keep happening. That's why real estate prices have continued to go up. Let's be honest, guys. We are living in an unprecedented state right now. Right now, we are in a hyperinflationary state where when I showed you guys this $100 bill, this $100 bill is no longer $100. This is now $93 because we've lost 7% of our purchasing power. We live in a constant state of COVID fears now. We're almost 2 years into it and there's still no end in sight. Kids are going to probably be pulled back from school and there's going to be homeschooling again. People that were going to go into their offices and work again are now working from home. So people are using their homes as sanctuaries. That's why people are constantly looking for homes and the demand has been driven right up through the roof. And that's what's causing prices to go up. Now, even though it might kind of come down a little bit or it might soften a little bit, home prices never really go down that much. And if they do, they always move into that upward trajectory. It's like what I was saying before, guys, in that Amazon example or the Bitcoin example, and now, of course, the real estate example. It doesn't matter if things go up and down or things soften or they decline a little bit. When you take a look at things that are tried and true, these things always have an upward trajectory. So when you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture, where's it better for you to put your money? Is it better to put it in the bank and lose 7% a year like it did this year? Or is it better to put in something like real estate this year and you could have made 25%? So another critical factor, guys, is these historical low mortgage rate times that we're living in. We have had really low mortgage rates and interest rates for a very long time. Right now, we're at about 3%. That feels like it's kind of like the rock bottom number. They might go up a little bit, but at 3%, it's basically like getting free money from the bank when you get a mortgage. And if you take a look at this on-screen graphic here, you can see at 3%, you're at about $1,500 or $1,600 a month as a mortgage payment. But if it ticked up to 4% or even 5%, which I don't think obviously is going to happen, you can see how much savings between 3 and 5% there is on your mortgage every month. In fact, over the course of the 30-year life term, you can see that it's over $160,000 of savings if you're at 3% versus 5%. So to use your money now to get into a low interest rate right now is a really good move with your money, because even though home prices have gone up here, it doesn't really matter when you can lock in low mortgage rates like this at this time. Another really good money move to make here with your money in Las Vegas is if you're not going to move here and buy a home here and let it appreciate while you live in it, a lot of investors come here to buy property and rent it out. And if you take a look at this on-screen graphic here and see that black box that I put around those two circles at the top, Las Vegas leads the country in rental increase amount. And number 9 next to it is Henderson. That's the city right next to Las Vegas. So these are in the top 10. Las Vegas is number 1 for rental increases. So if you bought a property here and you rented it out, There's nothing wrong with renting out a property and letting somebody else pay for it while it appreciates over time. That's a great thing you could also do with your money. So the bottom line, guys, is that whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I've showed you some really solid examples in this video, especially about real estate, as to why it always is a great long-term investment. You don't need to worry about everything that's been happening this past year or during the pandemic. If you zoom out, like I said earlier in the video, and you look at the big picture, it's always been an upward trajectory. And especially now when we're in a hyperinflationary time period, you want to put your money to use so that you can invest and make money down the line for yourself rather than to lose money because of the inflationary times that we're living in right now. So despite low inventory, multiple offers on homes, I will help you guys find a home or an investment property out here. If you're thinking about relocating, you're thinking about buying an investment property, I'm your guy. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. I will leave no stone unturned and make this process super easy for you. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. See you guys in the next video.